Harley will give you one. I was like,
well.
How do you mean that? She's like, yeah, I don't care. I fucking tore that shit up, dude. I was like, yeah. Then she, she had her theater career, and I think she's had a couple kids now. I haven't seen her for a while, but yeah, Nikki, yeah. And then we had a Mormon church right across the street from McClintock. So they would go take regular class, and then we'd do their church classes over there or whatever. And oh man, that was fucking shit.
Yeah.
So you were gonna say memories you shouldn't have.
Yeah, so I got this memory of me when I was really young, and my mom would drop me off at this house, and there'd be this lady, this like nice old lady, who would she'd always have these like homemade, like, I don't know if they're like Madeleines or vanilla, I don't know, cookies, vanilla flavor cookies, or
Vanilla wafers.
oatmeal or something like that.
Yeah.
Madeleine, I don't know what they were, but they were some sort of cookie, right?
Give me the munchies, but go ahead.
And she'd draw my portrait in pencil.
Oh wow.
Right? And I was like really young, right? And I'd have to sit there for forever. It felt like forever, right? Just sit there, like, don't be so, which when you're like, just out of diapers.
Yeah.
That's hard, right? So, I was like out of diet. I was like, maybe like 3 or 4 or whatever, right? So, fast forward, and like a few months ago, we'll say a year ago, I was talking to my mom and dad, and I was like, yeah, like, who was that old lady that used to like drop me off? And I remember like being dropped off. I can't remember the car that we rode in. But the place was like this like a cottage type of place, right? Like very, very idyllic, right? It's trees all around and stuff like that. And so I asked her, like, who was that would always draw my portrait? You drop me off. I don't know why, but you dropped me off for a while. And she's like, we never dropped you off, ever. Like, no one, the only person to ever babysit you, ever, was my dad's mom. And it was once while they went up to, they like went to Rubicon or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I can't remember, but that was it. Like, I was never babysat until I was like way older. Yeah.
See, that reminds me of the dream premise in Doctor Strange, Universe of whatever it is, Multiverse of Madness or whatever. Because it was like you're not actually dreaming; you're actually existing in another dimension.
Right.
And I'm like, that might be where you have that memory from.
Right. For like a tap into another dimension.
Yeah, like another existence where it's your consciousness, but for a moment, or maybe your past life or whatever, in another, existence that you're recalling as if it were. That's what they call it, the Mandela effect. Like you're remembering something that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like perfect example of personal experience of the Mandela effect. So the year that I got snowed in Tonopah, when I was coming up to see you, and you're like, dude, 14 foot of snow in the past. Like, fuck, I'm not swimming. But I thought that I would be able to go out of town at least to get to where the obsidian was. Like, yeah, it's only a few inches of snow. The glass will be off in the sun. I'm gonna go find something before it gets too bad. Because I thought, I would put my hand on a Bible or take a lie detector that the last time we were there, we could see Tonopah.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
just like half a mile away, or a mile and a half, or maybe even 2 miles away. You far I was off by? It's 38 miles from fucking Tonopah, man. Like to the number, 38.03 miles from Tonopah to where this place is. I swear to God that when we were there, I could see Tonopah when we were, but no, not even fucking close,
Yes.
And that's like my most realist Mandela effect, like a memory that I could have sworn,
That's like every time, basically, every time we access a memory or think about something, we change the memory.
Yeah.
So no memory that we have is pure.
Yeah.
It's every memory is altered.
Oh, as you grow, yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah. So check this out. So it's like, I think it's February 2006, and because I know because I'm working as a construction superintendent for Paddock Pools, and we had a super wet year that year. I mean, like just torrential rainfall. All of the dry rivers were flowing, rushing with water. I mean, it was that wet, right?
Yeah.
And because we had so much, rain, everything was really green at this point in time of year. And I'm driving down to go to Coolidge, and I cross over the Gila River. And there's green trees and, the foliage and whatever, and this rushing water. And I had to pull off the road and stop my vehicle. And I called my mom and I said, I don't know how to explain this. I said, but when I saw the Gila River with that water in it, with the foliage around it, I said, I had an immediate memory of hunting there with a bow and arrow.
Wow.
Like so impactful that I had to pull off the fucking road.
Wow.
Because it was just like, you know what I mean? While I was driving, I'm like, what the fuck? And I just pulled off and, I turned around and went back and I'm like, yeah, this is crystal. Like,
Wow.
and it's first person. Like, I can't see anything. I can see the bone in my hands and I'm right next to the river as that water's rushing. I might even do the fishing with the boat.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm like, she's like, what past life? I'm like, my grandfather believed in past lives. Reincarnation.
So, when I was really young, like just out of diaper, or like still in diapers, right? So I'm still in
22,
diapers for like 38,
38, 39.
39. Yeah.
Took a couple years off.
Right before 40, but I remain as far as I can. So, yeah, like stupid young. I would have these moments of hyper awareness where all of my senses, like my entire body was like, my senses were insanely heightened. Like I could feel my cells like dividing, and I could see, like, I could feel like the individual threads and stuff, and see them. And then when I looked at the ceiling, I could see the ceiling, like felt like
Right there.
right? And it was just like it was just a really cool feeling. I could be dark as fuck, but it would be like bright to me, right? And I would stand up on my bed, and there was a window, and I'd stand up and I'd look, and I would see. So instead of the backyard, I would see this road, right, and then this long road, and then vineyards, right? So it's in Napa.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's this. And then there's this other road that makes a T, and an ambulance, right? Just come. Oh, and then there's like trees. It's like a beautiful drive, like it looks like a long driveway with trees bordering it, like very picturesque. Ambulance is coming down. Right. Fast forward, we'll say 10 years. I'm 13 now. And my neighbor, he's in Babe Ruth baseball league, and he has a game at the Yountville Veterans Home. And so we're in his dad's car, and I'm we're leaving the veterans home, and I look back because I can't not look back through the window of the car, and I see what I saw at like 3 and 4 years old, or 2 and 3 years old, whatever. I see it unfold, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening to me? Like, what in the shit is happening to me? Yeah. So I got this idea about, like, past lives and stuff, right? So, when I hear about children talk about past, like, oh, mommy, I promise, I came here after I fell off the boat, or whatever.
Well, like the one that Dave showed us.
Right,
That blows my fucking mind.
yeah. So, here's what we never hear. Yeah, when I was on the planet Zorlob, and I was a Sniggelfarger with like a body made of jelly and a brain made of silicone or whatever, right? Never happens. It's always, when I was something 10 years ago or 100 years ago, here.
Yeah.
It's always here, right? So, So what if like souls, right? Just can't leave. They don't leave. So
I'm gonna replace souls with consciousness.
Right.
And I'm gonna say that the reason that that's the case is because the origin of consciousness, as we perceive reality, would have only taken place
Here.
right here.
Yes.
Yeah. So that to me is not where that would come from.
So check this out. So if we have past lives and whatnot, like this idea of, for me, like karma and past life, like it's not like you do good and you become better or whatever, right? I wouldn't think it would be
No,
something.
I get you. Like a Hindu thing.
Like a Hindu thing. It would just like whatever, right? You fucking whatever. Die and come back, right?
Yeah.
But imagine this. This is an idea. I don't know if I'll write this, but imagine if, like, the reason why we can't, we'll never leave Earth isn't so much that we can't, like, come together as a human species in order to develop the technology in order to get us to other planets. It's that our consciousness, or souls, are tied to Earth. So, like the further we get away from Earth, the more stillborn
We could be.
we would be.
Yeah.
Until they're like
Now, here's another way of looking at it too, though. So you have consciousness that originates here, and so because we don't have not everybody says, I remember,
right.
Not everybody has that experience.
Oh yeah.
So we're assuming first that all souls originated at the origin of time, and that they just repeat. We're not assuming that new souls are born or new consciousnesses are born.
Or that,
So the people who don't have those experiences, it's not because they don't have a psychic capacity or whatever. It's because their consciousness just started.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
But and that also doesn't mean that what we perceive as consciousness doesn't evolve and go someplace else. Or regress and go someplace else.
Or dissipate into nothingness.
Yeah.
Like just die as well.
Just that. Yeah.
Right? We want life to perpetuate because we're scared of not existing.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
So here's another interesting aspect is that this connection to a possible the memories that children shouldn't have
Yeah.
originate like primarily between the ages of 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Like there's this, it's almost like there's enough of a conscious experience.
Residual.
Tied, yeah, like there's enough of a current conscious experience to like understand and be able to make those connect. Like there's enough neurons,
Yeah.
right, firing to make that connection to
Yeah.
understand. But there's also still like the conscious, the connection to the consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Which, right, is still like a malleable state.
Was it Plato who said it about fucking you're born knowing everything?
Yes.
So you see what I mean? Like I buy that.
Yeah.
I buy that. You know what I mean? Like we grow dumb. You know, and like if I look at like my grandson, my cousin's granddaughter, that generation, they're both 15. But how they've been not just since they're 15, like from the get. It's interesting to see how that evolves. Like the intelligence, like they're clinging to what they were born with.
Yes.
They're tapping into or utilizing the capacities that we were denied because we were go outside and play. Come back sometime before dark. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. But we were also told, we're a little bit apart in age, but like we were told be quiet, go. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter had my grandson doing sign language at 8 months old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the first time I saw him, he was 10 months old. I flew out from Ohio and I took him for the day. And we were just hanging out at my dad's. He had them little alphabet blocks. And was he 10 months? Yeah, he's 10 months old. No, he was 8 months old. Sorry, 8 months old. And so he's not like an 8-month-old baby. And he's like examining these things. Right, set it down, pick up the next one. She had a little xylophone thing there. And he was literally, he would hit kind of all of them, but then he would go back to these 2 notes. And he'd hit a couple more and he'd go right back to these 2 notes. And I'm like, see, he's got something that he digs in those 2 notes, right? I mean, he's helicopter hungry. You know what I mean? Like, just a brilliant kid. I mean, he's 4 years old when my Uncle Dusty dies. And so, I drove us, me, my dad, Gina, my aunt, her daughter, my aunt's wife. We all went back to Ohio in a 15-passenger van in January of 2015. It was like the party in the Red Sea, weather-wise, because it was fucked before we left. It was beautiful when we drove and drove back, and then it fucking closed. Like all of the 40 and the 70 were shut down. But fuck, now where was I going with that? Goddamn weed. Anyway, my grandson. So we were missing him. We're there for a few days, and we were missing him. So I called my daughter on FaceTime, and she turns the camera on so we can see him. And she goes, "Chris, what are we watching documentary on today?" And he goes, "Peru." And she goes, "Not Peru. Was it no? Who was the volcano? Vesuvius?
Rome, Italy.
No, but what was the name of the specific city where they were?
Oh, Pompeii.
Pompeii. They watched a documentary on Pompeii, he says. See? 4 years old, he can remember that shit. 55 and like, fucking, dumb as a football.
Yeah,
But so, he says, we watched the documentary on Pompeii. And she goes, and what happened to the people there? He goes, they got a statue.
They got a statue. Right? That's awesome.
And she goes, well, how did that happen? 4 years old. He says, well, there was a pyroclastic flow that came down from the volcano. And we're like, and like, we're sitting here on FaceTime, and I looked at my dad, my aunt, and I go, you fuckers don't even know what pyroclastic means. You know what I mean? Like, but, and it's just been like that throughout, and just instinct with kids. They're just these brilliant kids, and it's because they've been treated more like village family member or something like that than like this toy, like a doll or whatever. I'm mad. I wonder how much smarter I can be. Right. I'm like, what the fuck, man? My son, my daughter, they're brilliant. They both got good grades. I mean, Tyler, when he applied himself, he got good grades. It was so funny, his logic. His logic was this. you just want me to get A's. I said, no, I just want you to do your homework. You see where the problem is? When he did his homework, he got A's. So when I said do your homework, he thought I just wanted him to get A's. I'm like, I don't know what kind of grades. That didn't register with me.
Right.
I didn't know what kind of grades I want you to get. I just cared that you did your homework.
Yeah.
But to him, that meant he was going to get A's.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So imagine, like Descartes argued that we can't tell, we can't know if we're basically not in simulation.
Yeah.
Right.
I never bought into that purpose, but go on.
So, me neither.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything feels too real.
Yeah.
Just like solipsism. Right? So fast forward, and there's this video game that's going to come out, and all of the creatures and stuff in this world are AI, but it's a I forget what it's called, but it's an AI that learns. It's what it is.
Okay.
Like it
Oh, yeah,
is,
too. Yeah.
It's alive.
Self-aware.
Yeah. Basically, and it acts as its role, but
Sentient.
kind of like yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the world, like it builds like right. So, to the AI, it will feel alive.
Yeah.
And the world that it's in, this internet world or whatever,
Yeah.
it will feel also alive to it.
That's its reality.
Yeah, it's its reality, right? So we have an expanding universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's expanding, and like we don't know what's beyond it. It could be like if there is a beyond it, and like what, but we know it's expanding,
Yeah.
right? And there's the same dark energy that we're not really sure what dark energy is, right?
Yeah.
And what if that is just like the program is just building the world, right? And it just takes time to create the world,
Right.
right? Yeah, and so this conscious experience that like, we have, like I remember my past life. No, that was like your program like died.
Yeah.
Now that program is being introduced into a new
Repurposed.
repurposed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. I mean, I still don't.
So, I mean,
ascribe to the. I don't ascribe that to the idea that we're.
I don't have a problem with the pontification. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to think about it. But, like, I was so fucking obtuse when it came to Dave's little drill about, like, okay, now you gotta make an argument, and if we can convince you, you have to come to the other side.
Yes.
And I was like, 2 + 2 is 4.
Right.
But you don't. Yes, I fucking do. Unless you can show me anything to the contrary, I would not budge. I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't care how many fallacies you think I'm employing. This is reality as we perceive it.
Right.
Not in a room with the door closed, so that room still exists. This is it.
Right.
You know.
Because the quote unquote fallacy of math is that begging the question certain of logic, right?
Yeah.
In order to prove math, you have to use math.
Exactly like the Bible.
Right. However, math is just an expression of like our observed reality.
Right.
So 2 + 2 isn't this arbitrary number or whatever. All it's saying is there are two objects over here, and then there are two objects over here. When you put those two objects, you can count them yourself. You can say 2 plus 2 if you want, or you can say like duo object, inscription duo object, and we'll just call that. Or two objects combine by these powers combined. Now this group, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all math is. It's just a numerical expression of what we observe.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I like the explanation in that fucking movie with Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. Lilith. Is that what it's called? Where she gains use to 100% of her brain and basically becomes God.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, dude. Well, she starts creating all this hyper consciousness because she ingests this pharmaceutical that's designed to make you smarter, but she gets like a pound of it.
Right.
And she becomes this higher consciousness, but on her way up to consciousness, she explains math like this. Man created math in order to scale down the universe so that they could feel like they could comprehend it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's
exactly
it.
it.
Yeah.
You know, we had to go, that's 12 inches. That's pretty big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That ain't fuck all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do. What we do is we try and make sense of stuff. That's why we categorize things.
Yeah.
It's because
yep.
it makes it easy for us to understand.
And I know you know the answer to this, but it blew my mind when Tyler asked me because I had never thought about it. What's the only thing in the universe that named itself?
The only thing in the universe that named itself?
Yep.
I don't know what.
The brain.
Oh, the brain. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's the only thing
That's right,
in
yeah.
the universe that
Yeah.
fucking named itself.
Uh-huh.
I said,
That's
if we're
right.
looking for the aliens, they're here. We're just the vessel.
Right.
You know what I mean? We feed it.
Uh-huh.
We transport it. We fornicate with it. You know what I mean? But we're just the vessel. Like, that's the alien.
That's
It named itself.
in D&D there's a monster called an Illithid, Mind Flayer.
Okay.
And so how they propagate, like how they make new Illithids, is they have this parasite, this like tadpole, this angry tadpole looking thing, and it burrows into someone's brain and then eats the brain and then basically turns the person into this thing with like a octopus head.
Oh,
and
nice.
and they're like really badass motherfuckers. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
But yeah, they don't like. That's how they make new lithids. They gotta capture people and then it's. Yeah.
I guess show you guys something.
There used to be 1,400.
This bouquet, those are all cones. Like, there's like, how many in a stack?
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 12.
There's 1,400 total.
And that's just for this month.
That's just for this week.
That's just for this conversation. Yeah, I literally thought it was like some kind of cool bamboo, you know, like an arrangement. And I'm like, wait a second.
Hold on now.
Those are fucking pre-roll cones.
Yeah, there's this game, Final Fantasy VII. Order online. I buy them, but I buy them all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because, like, I can't roll joints.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't have
The dexterity.
that kind of dexterity, the patience to learn, and I'm just
I
like,
appreciate the cones because the other thing about joints is ew.
yeah,
can't say final and then have a sequel.
Final Fantasy fifth now or up to 15
Wow.
or 16. I think.
It's a cool game though. But
It is, yeah. So Final Fantasy VII has the premise of the world is that the world's in trouble because humans are taking out the lifeblood, life energy, right? And it turns out that the life energy are souls, right? And so it shows this, like eventually, when you progress in the game, you get to this cutscene where it shows this guy's like teaching everyone, and it shows the world, and it'll have like a person here, and then a tree down here, right? And then like it'll show like the person die, and then his essence gets like dissipated, and like in the center of the world, it's all like swirling with energy, right? And so it'll show the guy, he'll like die, and then come over here as a tree, and the tree will like die, and then come over here as a guy or a person, right?
Right.
Which is so, and then so that got me. Not that didn't get me thinking, but like hearing all these stories of like between like 3 to 5 year olds talking about these like, oh yeah, I came to you after I fell off the ship,
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Right.
It made me think of that game, and it made me think that I wonder if the person who designed it, who came up with that, was someone who had
That experience. Yeah.
because yeah,
That's like,
it fits with these stories.
yeah, yeah. It just reminds me of like, because Tyler and I were talking about the shit under pyramids, and I'm like, if that Graham, whatever his fucking name is, dude, had anything to do with that, I'm the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they are supernatural or not, they were not discovered until,
Right.
you know, like, if he had anything to do with it, I'm like, you fucking big dick motherfucker. Like, you're just turning the shit, you're turning the world on its ear right now. You know, archaeologically speaking, anthropologically speaking, and like, he's fucking everybody up.
Uh-huh.
And it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is awesome.
Because it's not malicious. You know, if anything, it's the opposite. Like they're the ones who are being malicious, man. They're like trying to, they're trying to do the same shit that they did to, God damn it, what's that dude's name from Area 51? Who actually worked there? Bob. Oh, it's Bob. I know his first name is Bob. It'll come to me. But anyway, and this dude worked at Area 51 reverse engineering propulsion systems. He's drawn it out. He even came up with a fucking new element. Like he gets raided by the FBI all the time because they're trying to find this fucking element.
Wow.
Because it's the key to anti-gravity, energy. And he has created it. He's already, he's like, here's, everything except for the formula, whatever. And even on the most recent one, Bob. God damn it! It's killing me. But on the most recent one that I saw him on, where he's being interviewed by a guy, the guy who's interviewing him is fucking former Navy intelligence who worked in, encounters and whatever the fuck they call them, UAPs and NHI. And he's interviewing this guy, and they go to have lunch, and they're coming back to his place, and they're just getting out of the car, and you can tell it's like almost like cell phone video, because he's being raided by the FBI.
Oh wow.
They just happen to catch the FBI being in his office, still trying to find this fucking element. Oh, that's gonna piss me off. Oh, okay, I don't have it. Do me a favor, Google fucking Area 51 Bob, and it'll say his last name. Because it's gonna drive me nuts otherwise. And I'm gonna be mad when you say it, because I'm gonna be like, God damn it, that's what it was. Lazar! Thank you.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah. He's built all kind of like into like personal rockets and shit for himself. Like he's a fucking speed junkie. He likes to go fast.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. You would never think looking at him because he looks super nerdy, as a strike.
That's funny.
But there was another guy that he lectured up in Sedona. His name was William Cooper, and this dude was awesome. He was like, I don't know, there's like G1 through G whatever in intelligence clearance, and like the president's like a G3. This dude was like a G17 or some shit. Like had all his documentation, blah blah blah. When he lectured, he's like 90% of what I'm going to show you and tell you is in your hall or Library of Congress. Like you can find all this shit on most of this stuff. He said a lot of it has been given to him by other military people, names to be redacted or whatever. But some of the shit he had to say and do was just incredible. And he said he started out every time he spoke. He said, "I will speak until they kill me." He was living up in the White Mountains. And 2015, he was found. They said it was a break-in, like a robbery. He was found with a single bullet hole in the back of his head. Only thing that was taken from the house was his files and his hard drive. There was a shoebox under the bed with $15,000 cash in it. And they took the files and the hard drive and left him with a hole in the back of his head. Wow. Because he said he would speak until they killed him. But the shit this dude talked about, man. Random stuff, like one of the things he did was he was like, he had a copy of it. He's like, this is like a second generation copy of the Zapruder film. He says, I want you to ignore your instinct, which is to watch John, and even Jackie. He goes, I want you to watch the driver. He goes, that's all I'm going to say. Watch the driver. Right. And so we're sitting here, man, and my dad videotaped it. I'm watching his video of this lecture, and he puts this film up. And dude, you absolutely see the driver turn and shoot Kennedy in the fucking face. Wow. And he goes, and it's not, and he even had a fucking picture. It's a gas powered gun. It's a pellet that's got like a shellfish toxin or some shit. You're done. And it's untraceable. Wow. But the other thing that happened, a lot of people don't remember this, after Kennedy was assassinated, was his head disappeared. Like,
The gun.
it was like they decapitated him. Wow. And it's because of, that wound in the front. And, because there's a fucking documentary that seems about that. Did they film the operation? Is the head dead yet? Like they're talking about John Kennedy in the area. Anyway, but, so yeah, dude, and I've told people who were absolute skeptics, and all I said was the same thing, just watch the driver. I'm not going to tell you anything. Watch the fucking driver. Right. And they call me going, oh my God. I'm like, right? Yeah. And now, if you get any of the newer ones that are colorized and shit like that, two things are going to happen. Either they've edited it out, or they stop, because it's right when a car passes, there's a sign in the line of the film, like in the line of sight of the film, and the car drives past that street sign, and it's right there that it happens. So if it stops here, it's because they're not letting you see that, and if you don't see it, it's because I've seen the colorized version, and it doesn't look like anything. It looks like it's been sprayed. But the one that I saw, which was the second generation, that motherfucker shot him in the face. Wow. Yeah, that's why Jacqueline Onassis tried to jump out of the car. Yeah. And they fucking pushed her back in, and then he says, what's she gonna do? Who's watching her children?
Right.
So what did she do? She married Aristotle Onassis, the wealthiest man in the world. She knew she couldn't be touched. Yeah. That's what she did, Jacqueline Onassis. Wow. And that's all this shit he talked about. He had this article where it was a picture out of Popular Mechanics. And supposedly it was just an oil company ad. It was an alien head. So he's like, we called Popular Mechanics. They gave us the name of the photographer. And we're like, what is this? He's like, oh, it's a statue. He's like, okay, can we see the statue? Well, no. So do you have the original negative? Yeah. Can we see that? No. Okay. And he goes, and the reason we're asking, and he starts zooming on the picture. He goes, look at the nasal passages. There's moisture.
Oh, wow.
He goes, look on the side of the neck. There's hair. How many statues you see got hair follicles coming out the side of their neck? He goes, the eyes are asymmetrical. Statues are not.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he just keeps going on. And he goes, and what the fuck is the oil company doing with an alien head in their ad? Where's the statue then so that was, and then he started years ago, before 2015, but leading up to that, he started getting into talking about what he knew about the Illuminati, and they fucking killed him. Like he was done. But it was a trip to watch that shit.
Dude, so when I was in the military, I was an E4, living on base housing, and it was like upper enlisted housing, but I got emergency housing. So I was an E4, but I was sitting next to like specialist, and I had first sergeants next to me, right? So it's like very high upper enlisted rate. So I had this buddy, Henry, who liked to be called Jade. I think he hadn't even had his name changed to Jade.
So cool.
So, but he was like very, he was into all of the like conspiracy. It didn't matter. He just loved it, right? So one day we were talking about Oklahoma City bombing, and he was talking about some theories as to some stuff. We were just talking about like shit, and I wonder if it was around 9/11. No, I don't think it was before. It might have been before 9/11. Anyway, we get done talking, and I think 9/11 had happened. We get done talking. Or no, sorry, we don't get done talking. So sorry, I'm like slow to remember.
Stoner.
I know, right? So much weed. So he's like, "Hey, I got another call. Hold on." And it was back in the time, you still have landlines, and you'd like click to happen, right? So he clicks over, and I hear code word 52 detected. And I was like, oh fuck, right? And so he like pops over, and I was like, hey, and I tell him, I was like, dude, as soon as you flipped over, I heard code word whatever code word whatever detected. He's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah, we need to stop talking because the Patriot Act is real.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. There is there's like a memo I used to have. There's a memo that circulated through all of the security agencies, right? NSA and CIA and whatnot, right? And it basically, in a nutshell, it said everything you do online, everything is recorded and in these everything. It's everything. It's all.
Oh yeah, I mean I've never doubted that. I thought you were like my foot,
my knee. Yeah, it's just it's
I thought you were getting ready to go weasel on me. My brother, I was back there. I don't know if it was the last time I was home or I think it was the last time I was home. And he's got this cat that gets confused between him and I because we look so similar. And we're very similar size. He's just bigger, muscular wise, but we still look. And I didn't sound like him. But he gets so mad because I can make his dogs do what I want, like he's in his voice. Don't fucking do that. But anyway, his cat jumps up and I'm sitting here and he's like, I'm on this section of the couch and he's over here on the other side of the couch. Turns around immediately and there's this asshole in the face, right? And he's like, God damn it, why do they do that? And I start laughing because I actually came up with an answer. And he's like, what? I'm like, hold on, I'm like dying. I said, our cats do that. We talk shit on them because they lick their butts and whatever. our cats do that because what they're saying is, listen, you can talk shit on me for licking my ass, but out of the two of us, I only smell one asshole in this room. And it ain't mine. You know? So I'm just trying to tell you, either get your flexibility or get some deep wipes. But like whatever you're doing, only one asshole stinks in this house. Oh, and that bitch you're with, her asshole too. Yeah, he was just like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. I'm like, yeah, 'cause I guarantee you, that's what she can smell. She smells your asshole.
It's clean.
It is clean. My breath might stink, but my ass is gonna get I have yet to meet a cat that ever had good breath.
Oh God, we're dog.
Yeah.
I see these videos of
Puppies.
dogs.
That's it. Puppies. That's it. Yeah. They have puppy breath.
Dude, I see these videos of dogs, dog owners, and their dog walks right there, and I'm just like, oh God, I can smell it.
Yeah. I just thought of another one. So I got it from camera so I can remember. Here's the joke. I come walking out of Jim's bathroom and I go, hey man, you got paper towels? He's like, paper towels? Yeah. Sometimes when I smoke, I forget to. I'm supposed to shake them when I'm done.
No shit.
And the other one I was just thinking was puppy breath is adorable unless you date a girl who's got it. Think about it. Think about it. We all know immediately what puppy breath smells like, but it would not be good coming out of a woman's face.
No. No, sir.
See? You think it's the cutest thing ever until you put it in a different position. Yeah. My cousin's boyfriend buried Spike. I think I was out of town when he passed. And I was like, I'll come over and take care of it. But Mike was able to get over there early. But it was cool because he there was this like little cave that Spike and Chance dug out in the corner of the yard, in the corner of their kennel. And like there were times, man, where I would be like searching the property, swearing to God these fucking dogs got out of the gates. And they would just be down in this damn cave. It's 110 out and 70 in the cave, you know. And I had to go over there and yell and then come out. I'm like, oh God, Jim, you have a heart attack. Oh shit. You know, Spike wouldn't really go anywhere, but if Chance did, he was just with her. You know, he was just, that was his buddy, you know. And so when Spike passed, he's a decent sized dog. I mean, he wasn't fucking, you know, what was your dog's name? Play-Doh? But yeah, it wasn't that big, but he's a decent sized dog to be trying to dig in that fucking ground out there. And I said, no. I said, we cave in the fucking roof of the cave, you know, and then we'll pull the debris out, and we'll lay Spike in there, and we'll lay it down, and we'll bury him in there. And he did. That's exactly what he did. And then he laid rocks all over the top. I mean, like all over the top, and made little signs that Spike.
That's cool.
He goes, I was gonna put a cross on it. I said, I'll think Spike was a Christian.
I don't think you
I
should go out and
said,
live.
but, you know, if it makes you feel better, I said, I'm not gonna begrudge you, you know. But Michael did a really good job on that. I was like, yeah. So now, because the actual pet cemetery on that property is a front yard, like right out by the fence.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know this. My mom didn't tell me there was like mass graves out there because they used to raise Jack Russells, and not all puppies survive.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, the countless puppies went." Ah, no. I go, we didn't. I said they didn't have names because they were just.
No wonder we got ghosts on this
Yeah,
property.
exactly. And then there's Simon and Sky and little Lord Fauntleroy and Cooncat and Thelma and Chance. Those are all buried in that front yard, dude.
Chance.
That was Spike's buddy. Yeah.
Oh, like those are ones that actually made it, not puppies.
Yeah, not puppies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's ruthless.
That's what I thought.
No, Chance was.
Like, that's a horrible name to name a dead
Not
puppy.
dead puppy. No, dead puppies didn't get names. Because when But so since, we don't have any cats, we got these fucking rabbits up eating that little bit of grass that you had in front. So Michael come over and he's laying out pears for it, and he's getting the place ready in the center where we're gonna try and grow grass. It's a matter of keeping the fucking birds and I just told him, get a goddamn outside cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do it. You put out food, they start eating, everything goes from there. Because that's the best. They keep the rats out, they keep the rodents out.
Yep.
Alright, let me shut this off.